how did you learn what it meant to be a man? To be honest, I'm still learning, but I would say I learned what it meant to be a man by my own mistakes, the things that I did not do, the things that I saw in others, the mistakes that they made. I learned that about it's not just so much just being a good man, but learning how to be good at being a man. And that's a lot of Jack Donovan from his books. I was able, like, maybe 5-6 years ago, I was in Georgia and it was COVID. So I was just in the house and I had gone through a series of letdown, a series of things that my life was just not going the way that I wanted it to. But I decided that I was going to make a change. I was going to try to learn what it meant to be masculine, because I don't believe what I was doing was anything of it. There were some aspects of it that I had already, as far as the way a man is to carry himself, how a man talks, how a man walks, how a man thinks, and how he treats the people around him. That was something that I had to learn. So, I mean, reading was a lot, listening to mentors, watching how women respond to masculinity, and the women that operate in their feminine respond to masculinity, and how women that operate in their masculine respond to masculinity. Now, commonly, women who operate in their masculine, they tend to clash with a guy that is operating in his masculine, because they're used to being in charge or used to leading or having the plan. But when you come across a man that's doing that, it's like having two bosses on the same floor at a job, and they're clashing instead of one that is going to enter the other's frame. And it can be a struggle trying to get a woman to enter your frame, if you care enough to try to go through that. Otherwise, you don't have to. You just don't have to deal with it at all. But I learned a few aspects, especially from like childhood, about manhood. My father, what he taught me in being a man was, no matter what, you show up for work, and no matter the time, you really not complaining. And that was something I had to learn. I can honestly say that I've yet to hear my father complain about the job. All the years, and he's retired now, but in all those years that he was working, I never heard him complain to me. But he never, complained. I don't even think I heard him complain to my mom about shit. Maybe like when they were by themselves or something. But he just dealt with it, and so he taught me to just deal with it. And but I believe it was to a toxic degree for myself, because I didn't take care of me. I put the job before a lot of things. I knew that I had to work. That was really it. I really didn't have much of a social life when I was during my years in Miami when I was working. And I was like, no, I gotta work type thing. And I wasn't making time to be there for family events. I wasn't making time to be there for a social life. If there was a girlfriend, for the most part, I didn't really have one when I was there. Like initially, like the first time being there, I didn't really have like a girlfriend long term or anything like that. But learning how to be a man from my older cousin. My older cousin Richard, he was immediate influence on me. And so I saw what we all were learning back then as far as what it meant to be a man. You had to be good with the ladies. You had to, know your music. You had to know how to play ball. These is my teenage thoughts, what I thought of what it meant to be a man. And then I get around guys that I knew in the military, and I would see grown men, and they had, effective relationships with their father. And I saw a man take care of his family. I saw my uncle Tracy, take care of his family. So that was like, okay, this is like a model to kind of go after. And I saw that, when he would go get like a pair of kicks or some shit like that. He got kicks for like the entire fucking family. He was in a position to where he could do that, and he took care of what everybody needed, whatever clothes they needed. even just being a person that you can talk to. And that's what I learned about being a man. It's like being able to give sound advice and not trying to give it all out. Don't make it about you and just try to give, just share what you know because you want to say, hey, look, I know this, but listening to what is being said to you and being able to share that and being able to share that information with that person. And if indeed they want it, if they needed advice on something, that's what I learned. I learned from watching, my uncle being a solid soundboard even to this day, and just men in the church at Grove Baptist Church growing up. Pastor Mariner for sure. He was somebody that, he was busy a lot of times, but he used to share some gems with us. Like in the choir, a couple other guys, mentors that at Grove, Brother Sonny. There was a few guys that I knew, a few men that I looked up to, back then, that shared things on life, like Mr. Charles. He was definitely an influence on me. I used to go visit my best friend T-Dot, and I would have conversations with Mr. Charles just on life and stuff. And so learning how to be a man, I learned it from books. I learned it from my peers. I learned it from older men. I learned it from my mistakes. If I've learned anything from being a man, it's about the mistakes that I've made, the mistakes I continue to make, and just learning to look back at it and be like, okay, this is where you fucked up, but it doesn't stop you from moving forward. But learning to be a man, it's an ongoing process. It's not something that I plan to be a student of that forever, learning what it means to be good at being a man. And I'm recognizing my own faults as I continuously, go through this life. But that's what I believe I've learned what it meant to be a man.